happens, all of a sudden I genuinely I was like, oh my God, I feel like a part of my heart just got ripped out. It was the weirdest feeling.
So there are now rumors that Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis are going to be breaking up amid all the stress and scandal of what's going on with P. Diddy.
What do you have here, Rob? What clip is this with Kutcher?
So this is Ashton Kutcher. He was on the Hot Ones.
Go ahead. No,
Diddy party stories, they're our favorite genre.
Hi, this is Mandy. It was a revelation that seemed to come out of nowhere. Mila Kunis, sitting solemnly, shared her thoughts, and you could almost sense the weight pressing on her. She said, "This happened all of a sudden," her words heavy with emotion. "I felt like a piece of my heart just got ripped out." The rawness in her voice echoed a collective shock, leaving many stunned at the turn of events. You see, back in 2001, a young Ashton Kutcher was about to pick up his girlfriend, Ellerin, a 22-year-old fashion student with a bright future. It was supposed to be a night of youthful laughter and excitement, but instead, it spiraled into one of Hollywood's most chilling mysteries. Ashton peered through her window, his eyes falling on what he assumed was spilled wine on the floor. But, in a devastating twist, that spill was something far more sinister. The prosecutor, Richard, would later share a haunting realization with the jury. "We believe now the evidence will show that what Ashton saw that night wasn't wine. It was blood." The weight of those words hung heavy in the room, and as more details surfaced, a new layer to this mystery unraveled. Allegations were made, doubts began to form. Ashton, shaken by the tragic news, reportedly freaked out, knowing that he had left his fingerprints on her door. In a shocking revelation, there were hints that suggested Ashton's presence at the scene could be more than mere coincidence. The suspicion only grew as Nunes, another voice in this tangled story, subtly alluded to Ashton's alleged connection to the shocking crime. This resurfacing of details has left fans questioning, could there be an untold story here? For years, Ashton had been a Hollywood darling, known for his charm and quick wit. But now, whispers began to circulate, with more and more people questioning his involvement in that tragic evening from decades ago. It was a jarring reminder that sometimes even the brightest stars can cast the darkest shadows. As the investigation unraveled, new pieces of the puzzle began to emerge, and the case took on an unsettling complexity. Jennifer, a close friend, had remarked that whoever was responsible for Ashley's death had likely known her well, given the layers of security around her home. Ashley's residence wasn't easy to access. It was double-gated, a fortress meant to protect. And yet someone had breached those defenses. That night was meant to be a simple date, an ordinary evening between two young people. But as the world would later discover, nothing about that night was ordinary. Ashton, a rising star at the time, found himself under the harsh spotlight of suspicion. People wondered, could this charming actor, seemingly without a care in the world, truly be hiding something this dark? He had been expected to take Ashley out that evening, yet arrived late. Upon seeing her lights on but no answer at the door, he assumed she'd left with someone else. His gaze, briefly landing on what he believed to be red wine, was enough to deter him from further investigating. But as we now know, that stain was no wine. This small but powerful detail cast a shadow over the entire scene, leading to unsettling questions. Why didn't Ashton check further when she didn't answer? Why didn't he call anyone to check in on her? With each revelation, fans' suspicions grew, and soon, the tragedy of that night felt like only the beginning of a much darker tale. Rumors of a cover-up began to take shape, and whispers hinted that perhaps Ashton's role in the evening's events was not as innocent as it first seemed. As years passed, the case seemed to fade into Hollywood's dense archive of scandals and mysteries. But in 2019, it was abruptly thrust back into the public eye when Ashton took the stand in a highly publicized trial, not as a suspect, but as a key witness against Michael Gargiulo, the man eventually dubbed the Hollywood Ripper. Gargiulo was ultimately found guilty of Ashley's murder, yet Ashton's testimony reignited an undercurrent of questions. Standing before the court, Ashton recounted the events of that haunting night, describing how he had freaked out upon learning of Ashley's brutal murder, and realizing that his fingerprints were on her door. He insisted that he'd thought the red stains on her floor were from spilled wine, yet his explanation struck a strange chord with the public. Many struggled to reconcile Ashton's account with the chilling details of the crime scene. The public had watched him rise to fame, associating him with lovable characters and comedic charm, yet his courtroom demeanor and the details he revealed brought a new light to the old story. It wasn't just a misunderstanding. His words raised new questions about his awareness of that night's terror. Some online communities even proposed that Ashton knew more than he let on, casting him not only as an unwitting bystander, but as someone whose actions might have obscured critical details. In a strange twist, even conspiracy theories began to surface, questioning why Ashton didn't report what he saw sooner, why he hadn't looked more carefully. His delayed arrival to Ashley's home, coupled with his swift departure, left some to wonder if there was a hidden layer to the story, a deeper truth lingering beneath the Hollywood facade. While Gargiulo's conviction brought some closure, it also kept Ashton's role in that fateful night under scrutiny, as fans and critics alike speculated about what else he might know. In a surprising twist, the spotlight shifted to Mila Kunis, Ashton's longtime partner and wife. For weeks, rumors swirled about potential cracks in their seemingly rock-solid marriage. Whispers from insiders hinted that Mila had grown uneasy with Ashton's complex connections, not only to Ashley's tragic past, but also to figures like Sean "Diddy" Combs. Diddy, a once celebrated music mogul, now faced his own shadowy allegations, which had reportedly piqued the interest of federal investigators. Sources close to Mila suggested that she was contemplating her next move. Some even speculated that she might be aiding authorities behind the scenes. These speculations, if true, added a layer of intensity to an already complex story. Mila, by Ashton's side for years, would naturally have had access to parts of his private world that others could only guess at. Could she hold a key piece of the puzzle that would cast Ashton in an even darker light? Some even claimed she had been quietly cooperating with federal agents, providing them with insights that might shine a light on Ashton's mysterious ties to Diddy's criminal network. If Mila indeed possessed information that could expose Ashton, it could mean serious repercussions, not just for their marriage, but for his freedom and career. This suspicion around Mila's silence only fueled the rumor mill, leaving fans to wonder if her decision to step back from Ashton had a far more profound reason than mere celebrity drama. After all, federal investigations rarely linger around Hollywood's elite without cause. For now, Mila's potential involvement in this tangled web remains a mystery, but her role could end up being the pivotal piece that unravels the entire story. Ashton's association with Diddy wasn't just a casual Hollywood friendship. It was a bond forged in the heart of the entertainment industry. For years, Ashton was a familiar face at Diddy's notorious events, including his annual all-white Labor Day parties, which had become synonymous with glitz, glamour, and rumored scandal. Their relationship took root in the early 2000s when Ashton's MTV show Punk'd featured Diddy in one of its famous pranks. From that point on, their friendship blossomed, and the two were frequently seen together at high-profile gatherings, even appearing to share mutual admiration. But as new accusations surfaced about Diddy's life behind the scenes, some began to wonder if Ashton's connection to the mogul was purely social. Diddy, facing serious charges ranging from racketeering to alleged violence, reportedly harbors secrets that could shake the very foundation of the entertainment world. Insiders claimed that the mogul's paranoia reached such extremes that he feared for his life in jail, believing that those in power would rather silence him than let him testify. As word spread that Diddy might spill the tea on some of Hollywood's most guarded secrets, speculation grew over whether Ashton might be implicated. Could his friendship with Diddy have exposed him to a side of Hollywood few ever see? Some sources even whispered that Ashton knew more than he let on about Diddy's underground dealings, a possibility that cast a darker shade on his seemingly carefree public persona. For fans, this revelation was startling. The Ashton they thought they knew, the charming, easygoing star of that 70s show and dude, Where's My Car, seemed worlds apart from the clandestine circles rumored to surround Diddy. And if those rumors held any truth, Ashton's ties to Diddy could be a ticking time bomb, potentially dragging him into a legal maelstrom that could cost him everything. As tensions mounted, the public's perception of Ashton continued to evolve, especially as past controversies resurfaced, putting him and Mila under an unforgiving microscope. One of the most shocking revelations involved resurfaced footage of Ashton making uncomfortable jokes about young female co-stars, remarks that sparked outrage across social media. People questioned how someone so outspoken about protecting the vulnerable could support someone like Danny Masterson, a former co-star who had recently been convicted of heinous crimes. Ashton and Mila's support for Masterson was scrutinized after the pair penned character letters for him, portraying him as a model citizen in stark contrast to his recent conviction.